as you age, and I am, and I think gracefully and beautifully, regardless of, the prior diagnosis. Like, I just feel like your body will show up and it does things, and things that it didn't do when you were younger, it's now doing. And it's like, what in the
Hmm.
hamburger is that? What is that? I mean, that's life, right? And so change happens, and it's going to happen with or without you. So show up and do what you need to do, and show up in your greatness, and live in the
Right.
body that you have, right?
Now, this is really connecting to what we want to talk about today. You and I talked
Okay.
about it. And through all the obstacle challenges we have in life,
Yes.
what's going to help us grow and what is going to help us overcome this in a very meaningful way is community, is support.
Yeah.
It's when my friend can call me as a friend, and I'm honored to be someone call me as a friend and call me and say I have a car problem, and
Right.
know that I'll find a way to help them.
Right.
For me, that's important. So that way, also, if I call you, Dr. Renee, right, and I say, listen, I have this X, Y, and Z issue,
Mm-hmm.
wondering if you can help me or somebody or something, right? And that's so nice to be able to call you as a sister
Right.
here
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. And,
see what we
I'm
can do
grateful.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm grateful and proud of that. And so, I mean, you brought it to the car, but let's bring it back to our bodies, right? For me, when I reached out, and I love what you said about community. Community is key. You have to have a healthy community. And so, when I called you, and I was like, listen, I need you. And it wasn't just, and I loved it because I wanted you, I needed you, you were important to me, and you were important to me healing. And so when I called you and said I needed you, there was no hesitation. And that's the type of community I think we need to build. And it's also a mindset, right? I knew exactly what I needed to help me to shift and get to the next level in my healing. And you had what I needed, from the spiritual aspect to the nutrition to the supplements, and just mindset, just keeping me focused and making sure that I was doing what I needed to do to stay on track to heal this body, to refocus my mind. I mean, a community. And so I'm grateful to have sisters like you in my community, which is what one of the things that I would like to say to some of the sisters that may be watching us, that community is key. Knowing who you are connected to, showing up in your greatness for them and for yourself, and knowing that you're worthy of change, of healing, of prosperity, of whatever the it is that you are seeking. It's real important that you have a positive community that sees you and understands you. So,
Oh,
and that was
so
cool.
so beautiful. It
Yeah.
is so true. And having a really difficult diagnosis, like cancer, is really important to talk about.
Hmm.
And it's not because we don't have the answer to help people heal from cancer and say the word cure from cancer.
Right.
But in the Western medicine, they have a limited scope. The system itself have a very limited scope of how they can help someone with cancer, and so of course it's creating fear. It's creating fear because
Yes.
of the limited options people have, and then the results, even with the options with the typical chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, removal and biopsy, all the stuff. It, it's not even a 50% recovery for people, and not creating fear for people, but just let people know this is what you offer and this is the best they have. And the fear, people creating this fear like, oh my, is it death sentence? That's the fear. Is it, oh my,
Right.
once I have this diagnosis, that death sentence? Because you only went to one source, really. You only went to
Exactly.
one
Exactly.
source that tells you, what they could do in the limitation. But
Right.
once you step back, and then you get to see the world. See, like also when you look at the globe, the Earth, it's more
Mhm.
than just the United States. We live in the United States, but the United States is just a tiny little country among almost over 200 countries.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's I love what you just said there, because as you were speaking, I thought, right, so connectivity. Now I'm gonna go back there, you know, to connectivity, and 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 it takes all of us to to make this thing work on a level on a level that is just beyond the Western, if you will, the Western medicine. And it's okay, you know, for those who believe in that, that's good. It works for you, that's cool. But understand that there is more that you can add to your toolkit, if you will, that will help you to heal. And not be afraid of that, right? Because I think sometimes what happens is because we have this community that may be lacking, this community that is in its own little box, and this is how far we go, and we don't go any further because we don't have those outside supports, because we don't have people who are thinking outside the box. We don't know. So the Western is the way. But once you are educated, once you connect with other people, and you see different people from different walks of life. So right now, like I'm passionate about watching the monks who are walking for
Mm-hmm.
peace, right? And I think about that, and I think about like at,
Bringing people.
by um, as I grew older, I don't know how to say this, but I was raised in Christianity. But as I got older, I realized that the Christianity that I was raised in was limited, and it's more to the Christianity than that little box that I lived in. And the only reason why I lived in that box was because that's what my community knew. But once I met you, once I met some Africans, once I met like other people on the planet, and now I understand Christianity on a whole totally different level,
Mm-hmm.
that blows my mind, that now I can walk in faith, and I can walk and know that I can be healed. I can walk and know that I can eat differently and show up differently on the planet, and know that healing, because I said, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
got to speak it and believe it in order for me to receive it and achieve it, right? So I have to
Yes.
put it on in order for it to work for me. And so I know that now because I am in different communities, because I am connected to something outside of that small little circle that you talked about called Earth. And we have just the United States that sits in this Earth, you know, so, or on the Earth. So I am just I am on fire right now with connecting with other people who look different and sound different and worship different than me.
Oh man, give me the goosebumps. It's so true. And again, the unity piece, the community piece, when people know that they're not alone in their suffering.
Yeah,
And then there are other resources. You might not know all the resources, but once you connect with a community that has other experts,
yeah,
there's other experts like myself as well, and I'll be part of your community and helping others, just to learn more. Learning is the key.
right.
Okay, so learning and educating ourselves actually decrease our fear,
Mm-hmm.
because once
Mm-hmm.
we know more, we have more options. There's no room for fear.
Right,
Fear is
right,
just an emotion we created really by something we feel stuck, we don't know. Um, but actually, that is just it's whenever you feel fear, then I want the audience to know that it means like, okay, who do I need to talk to? What do I need
right,
to learn?
right,
What
right,
resource I need, so then I can understand this feeling. Okay,
right, right. I love that.
maybe it's just something I'm creating right now, amplifying it. So
Right,
tone
right,
it down.
right.
It's real, but it's
Yes.
you can amplify it or you can bring it down.
Right, right. It's how you view it, right? How you're seeing it. But and I love what you said. Like I think we need to address it. Like it's okay to really say, "Ooh, like I am that was fearful. What about it was fearful?" So questioning yourself, working through it. Is it really as big as you think it is, or is it something that you added to that make it appear as big as it is? And so it's okay to say, okay, that's fearful, but at the same time question it, work through it, understand that maybe like you just said, we're amplifying it and it's not as big as it really is, right?
Yes,
I,
yes.
I think about just I just had this vision of they said something like, you know, if you encounter a bear or something like that, you act bigger than you act bigger than it. And so in that moment that bear is looking at you and is thinking, oh my God, this thing is really huge. But it was the way you viewed it. It was the way you saw it. The bear was actually bigger than you, but because you showed up in this energy, and the energy shifted the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that energy, if you can act bigger than that fear, it can shift that so that you are no longer feeling small and having that thing control you, but you can have a say in how that thing shows up in your life. I don't know if that made
Yeah.
sense, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, we just, yeah, like you say, if you use the example of a bear, you know, yeah, they could be dangerous, but we don't really know what state they're in. But when we amplify that fear, it's going to hurt us more than, than the bear.
Right,
It's going to, but if we be courageous facing it, right? When facing with courage,
right,
maybe we're not that helpless. A lot of
right.
time we
So
see ourselves
so
so helpless.
oh, that was good. That was good. So I'm going to tie it back to the cancer, right? For those of us who have faced it and we got frightened of it and we allowed it to control us, then some of us lost because we didn't fight it. We didn't show up bigger than it. And so for me, when I was diagnosed, and this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to put this together for some of the sisters, is because I wanted them to understand that yes, it's a scary moment. Don't look like I'm not trying to play it small. It's a scary thing to hear those words, but they're just words. And in the moment, you have the ability to shift it. It's in you. Let's get it out. Let's heal it. Let's fix your on the cellular level. Let's do things to shift so that you can continue to show up in your greatness, continue to show up in love. And that was one of the reasons why I really, yeah, wanted to make sure sisters who are impacted at this point with cancer or who have been know that they have a community that they can come to, know that there's not going to be someone there that's just a talking head who have not experienced it, but I've experienced it. I have lived experience with this particular thing called cancer, right? But I also figured out a way to do that mind shift. Know that I can stand in my power and my grace and my mercy and my forgiveness and my love and shift the energy within my body and show up differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted the
Yes.
sisters to know that, and that was one of the reasons why Phoenix Mindset came about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And one thing I do want to state, about the group that you're creating for those who are currently going through the diagnoses. Um, I'm lately talking to more people that the cancer came back. So I want to also say to the audience, that there's a place for you. Like if you think you beat cancer, but just know that you're still recovering. There's so many people that are still taking the chemotherapy even after that, because the doctor will help you keep taking it, and then taking a hormone blocker medication just to prevent. But they're living with a lot of side effects, and it's still impacting their immune. And it doesn't guarantee their not cancer is not coming back. And so, if you're open minded to hear more about what we can do to help people, what we teach people, what from the food therapy point of view as well, the mindset, but the food therapy, how to help yourself heal and not have to experience cancer again. Because when it's gone, and then you go back to our old habits, or we go back to what we didn't change the things we need to change because you didn't learn that. The doctor didn't tell you that. The chances are higher. Okay, we go out to drink again. We go out to socialize. We eat stuff. Just go with the flow, eating comfort food. And I see a lot of people doing that because they were told you can eat whatever you want. You're
Mhm.
good now. You can just go and live your life. But when you're not, you don't understand the root cause. You just go back into the same lifestyle.
Right, right. It's so true. And so I think that's a,
So anybody who's open minded, I'm just saying, if they're open
right.
minded, they want to learn more and they want to do more than what they're doing right now.
Hmm.
They want to add on extra resources. I think we have a place for them.
I love that. I love that. Just add on extra resources. I mean, and again, not everything is going to work. Like we don't play that cookie cutter stuff. Not whatever happened and worked for me does not necessarily mean that it's going to happen and work for the next person. but we're not a cookie cutter. Um, uh, I don't even know what to say. It's not a group. It's not an organization. Just sisters loving up on each other, sharing our resources with each other, letting folk know that there is other ways. And so, with
Mm-hmm.
that, I want to say it's been awesome, our time together today. And I would just like to end with saying it's never too late to connect with your truth. Have an
Same
amazing
here.
day, sisters. I appreciate you.